Are we all here? As well, the merSETA executive management, the staff of the merSETA, colleagues and friends, good morning. I welcome you to the National Annual General Meeting of merSETA. My name is Paul Challenge for merSETA, but be assured that the merSETA board it remains strong and committed as we are unwavering in our commitment to strategically invest in the skill development, ensuring that we build a capable and we ensure by ensuring that we are building the capability needed for a resilient and prosperous economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the merSETA interim chairperson, Mr. Kuos, and including the acting chief executive officer, they will provide overview of the performance scorecard for the past financial year. But before I end for still industry on solidarity executive board for more than two decades, providing strategic leadership and advocacy at a national level. Mr. Kuos began his career as a qualified electrician, a foundation that has in
is I want to feel I belong. It's actually acting chairperson, like we have all the acting positions within the merSETA. Thank you. Thank you, Hussein. Good morning to each and every one of you gathered here in this venue, as well as to our esteemed colleagues, partners and guests joining us virtually from various locations near and far. It is both an honor and a privilege to have you all present with us on this momentous occasion. And we extended our warmest welcome and heartfelt appreciation for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be part of today's proceedings. On behalf of the merSETA, I extended our sincere gratitude to you to thrive in a rapidly evolving economy. We also recognize the broader economic context in which we operate, a context that shapes both our challenges and our opportunities. I am pleased to report that during the 24-25 financial year, merSETA allocated significant resources to employer grants and project expenses, reflecting our unwavering commitment to achieving strategic objectives. Total revenue of 2.2 billion rand, comprising skills development levy income of 1.8 billion rand, interest income of 469 million rand. Total expenditure of 2.1 billion rand, with 88% directed towards employer grants and projects of approximately 1.8 billion rand. Surplus of the year, 169.8 million rand, demonstrating prudent financial management while maximizing impact. Budget utilization, 90% of the approved budget and improved from 80% in the previous year. This upward trend in expenditure highlights the merSETA emphasis on investing in key projects, grants, while also underscoring the importance of prudent financial management to ensure optimal use of resources. Our cash reserves stand at 6.2 billion rand, providing a solid foundation for our commitments extending up to 4 years. Over the 2020-2025 strategic period, the merSETA has made a significant impact in fulfilling our mandate. Learner support, over 123,000 learners supported through diverse training interventions. Nearly 77 unemployed individuals and almost 20,000 unemployed learners benefited from programs including learnerships, apprenticeships, bursaries, programs and skill development initiatives. Over 14,000 apprentices enrolled, almost 11,000 a notably improvement from 47% in 22-23 and 61% in 23-24. This represents our highest achievement rate in the current strategic cycle. Key programs achievements include Program 1, Administration, 67% achievement, Program 2, Skills Planning, 85% achievement, Program 3, Learning Program, 65% achievement. Program 4, Quality Assurance, 73% achievement. It is important to note that many learners registered in 24-25 actually commenced their programs prior to 31 March 2024. While these over 24,200 prior year learners could not be reported under the audited performance of the year due to technical accounting requirements, they represent real training delivery and impact that support our sector. During the 24-25 presentation, affected workers and strengthened resilience in the component manufacturing sector. Auto Manufacturing and Assembly Chamber conducted an auto skills gap analysis to inform targeted skills interventions and workforce development strategies. New Time and Manufacturing Chamber piloting an online industrial career path tool to enhance visibility, accessibility for occupational pathways. Plastic Manufacturing Chamber, a national study to map the skill underpinning the plastic recycling value chain, identifying training gaps and recommended strategies to improve skills provisions. These initiatives underscore the Chamber's vital role in shaping responsive, future-focused skill development strategies within the manufacturing and the related sector. Strategic partnerships remain central to the merSETA's efforts to achieve its mandate and create meaningful impact within the sector. Through collaboration, engagements with industry, stakeholders, government entities, educational institutions, and other key partners, we continue to drive initiatives that enhance skills development, innovations, and economic growth. National Youth Development Agency, Gauteng, the merSETA formed a strategic partnership with the NYDA, we all know now what it stands for, to support youth skills development, allocating 35 million rand for training of 500 learners in targeted skills programs. Hesto, KwaZulu-Natal, a comprehensive skill development initiative within the automotive industry, funding training of 500 learners across apprenticeships, learnerships, lecturer development programs, and skill programs. Total investment of 62.8 million rand. Small Enterprise Financial Development Agency, in a partnership with Small Enterprise Financial Development Agency, we are investing 57 million rand to train 700 learners through apprenticeship, solar energy, skill programs, learnerships in electrical artisan recognition of prior learning, intervention supporting critical and scarce skill in the energy and electrical sector. In support of capacity building within the public sector, the merSETA committed 97.4 million rand to develop the Department of Defence learners through learnership, apprenticeships, and RPL programs, reinforcing our commitment to inclusive skills development and a national human capital growth. Quality Council of Trade and Occupations, the merSETA hosted 7 capacity building workshops across the provinces to capacitate skills developments provided working with both the merSETA and QCTO. Strengthening the leadership between all parties and enhance service delivery. The 2024-25 reporting period unfolded against the backdrop of significant economic sectoral headwinds. Understanding these challenges is critical to appreciate both our achievements and our strategic adjustments we had made. South African economy, deep-rooted structural challenges. South Africa key industrial sector, engineering, manufacturing, tire, plastic and metals continue to face severe economic pressure. GDP growth at a modest 0.6%, expansion with projection of only 1.3% to 1.6% growth, inefficient to address poverty and unemployment. Infrastructure failure, while load shedding intensifies east in 2024, years of unreliable power have eroded industrial capacity. More critical severe inefficiencies at Transnet continue to throttle the economy through ballooning transport costs, production delays, declining export, competitiveness as companies resort to expensive road transport, youth unemployment, a generation crisis. The employment crisis among young people has reached alarming levels. I just want to say this is my passion. Young people and the people, we're going to go to the report. Sectoral specific economic impact, engineering and construction, a foundation under strain. The engineering sector remains under pressure due to severe downturn in construction. Construction sector contracted up to 5% in 2024. Industry value added fell by 2% year on year in Q4 2024. Challenge, weak economy, activities, high building material costs, slump in residential and non-residential building projects, ground for optimism. Government embarked 233 billion rand for roads, 121 billion rand for water projects, expected to rebound from 2026 onwards, supporting by public and private investment to renewable energy and infrastructure. Manufacturing, battling headwinds. The broader manufacturing sector faces essential challenges. Sector contribution to GDP halved from 24% in 1990-91 to 12% in 24-25. Production growth a mere 0.4% in 24, with output still below pre-pandemic levels. Job losses, nearly 500,000 jobs shed over the past decade. Revenue declined by 2.53%, increased for the major listing manufacturing companies in 23-24. Operating profits fell by over 21%. Key challenges, escalating production costs, logistic disruption from rail network failures and domestic demand. Tire sector, navigating a bumpy road. The tire industry contends with rising raw material costs, intense competition from cheaper imports, consumer financial strain. Positive developments. Government imposed anti-dumping duties on certain Chinese tires from July 2023, effective till 2028. New industry waste tire manufacturing management plan, April 2024, addressing collection and processing challenges. Sumitomo Rubber South Africa announced significant expansion of the Ladysmith plant. 23-24. Capacity utilization around 75% in 24-25. Steel production plunged by nearly 50% since 2006. GDP contribution fall from 0.8% in 2010 to just 0.3% in 24. Employment impact, basic iron and steel industry shed 46% of the foreman. Key interventions, strategic strengthening of the Human Resources Division through appointing a manager of employment relations and wellness, specialist for employment relations and wellness. significant enhanced internal capacity, expert technical support and strategic oversight in managing complex disciplinary matters, executive management cases now addressed with improved legal rigor and procedural accuracy. Effectively reduced organizational risk, greater compliance with labor legislation and governance standards. Receivables relating to discretionary grants, not all amounts meeting the definition of expenditure and accruals in the period were recognized. As a result, the merSETA received a qualified audit opinion for the 24-25 financial year. As accounting authority interim chairperson, I acknowledge these shortcomings and accept accountability for ensuring that necessary remedies actions are implemented with urgency. We have initiated a comprehensive corrective action plan overseen by the Audit and Risk Committee. Restore full compliance, strengthen internal controls, improve reliability and transparency of financial information, continue reporting on processes until these matters are fully resolved. Capabilities and reduce import dependence. Expanding stakeholder coverage, promoting equity and access to ensure skills development, research, historical at disadvantaged communities and individuals. Prioritizing future orientation and trains directly. The merSETA mandate is to ensure that Skills Development Act as a catalyst, empowering individuals, communities and enterprises to participate meaningfully in the evolving economy. We have initiated a comprehensive action plan to address inefficiencies and improve performance, including and performance reporting. Improved data system, enhancing ICT and MIS systems to robust data management and governance, ensuring reliable and valid data for strategic decision making and reporting. Program evaluation plan, developing an evaluation plan for key skill programs to identify areas for improvement and set goals more efficiently. Trace studies, implementing large-scale trace studies to determine occupations taken up by unemployed learners, program effectiveness, employment outcomes. Defining occupational definition, emerging transformation and new occupational and skills to enable more precise measurements and targeted interventions. MOA management and quality management system, implementing an end-to-end MOA management at the regional level and the QMS to emerge challenging period. Executive management for their resilience and commitment to delivering on our mandate despite significant obstacles. All merSETA employees for their dedication and professionalism. Our industry partners and employers and labor representatives for their continued collaboration and support. Education institutions, TVETs, etc. for their partnerships in delivering are significant. Together we will continue to transform challenges into opportunities, building the skilled workforce our nation needs, shape a brighter, more inclusive future for all South Africans. The the work we do at manufacturing engineering related sector. I thank you. Please allow me to introduce our acting CEO, Neftali Mokgotsane. And I want to, in short, tell you about Neftali. His career journey spanning over two decades, reflecting a deep commitment to skills development, education, innovation in the manufacturing engineering sector. Beginning as an apprentice, interesting, artisans are always starting off. Myself, an artisan, yourself, an artisan. Beginning as an apprentice at an automotive manufacturing, Neftali's passion for engineering led him to pursue formal education at the TVET College, culminating in a national diploma in engineering. Neftali demonstrated an unwavering commitment to professional development by pursuing advanced qualification in business leadership. He continued his academic journey by enrolling in the Master of Business Administration program, where he successfully completed all required coursework, components, including rigorous modules in strategic management, financial analyst, organizational behavior, leadership studies. His dedication to academic excellence through this demanding program has propelled him from the Department of Labor, where he served as assistant manager and head of automotive section. Here he contributed to the national skills initiatives, including the Master Artisans program and the recognizing of prior learning frameworks. Joining the merSETA as a quality assurer, Neftali expertise quickly earned him promotion to managerial roles. As senior manager of quality assurance and partnership, he forged impactful as since March 2024. Neftali continued to lead by transformative vision, driving the merSETA's mission to empower stakeholders and foster sustainable economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen,
colleagues and guests, it is my privilege to present the overview of the merSETA's performance for the 2024-25 financial year. The past year has been one of the significant progress, innovation, and unwavering commitment to excellence in education and training within our sector. Despite facing rapid technological change, economic fluctuations, and lingering impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the merSETA has remained steadfast in its mission to foster skills development capabilities, enhance workforce capabilities, and drive sustainable. We forged valuable collaborations through more than 5,500 employer partnerships, 158 TVET college partnerships, 67 higher education institution partnerships, and 16 community education and training college partnerships. And you could already see with the number of partnerships versus the number of TVET colleges we have in the country. I think it deserves a round of applause. Is the state to present them. These upward trends demonstrate our focus on investing in key projects and grants while maintaining prudent financial management to ensure optimal use of resources. The merSETA generated total revenue of 2.3 billion rand during 2024-25 financial year, comprising 1.8 billion rand in skills development levy income and 468 million rand in interest income from 100 are met. Our discretionary reserve commitment reached 5.135 billion rand at the year end, representing a commitment ratio of 96%, which indicates that the vast majority of our available discretionary funds have been contractually obligated to future projects, programs across manufacturing engineering sector. No unsolicited bids proposals were concluded in the year. Our supply chain management process remained manual but are aligned with all relevant prescripts. However, challenges persist. The absence of dedicated contract management role, short turnaround times, and increased demands have led to backlogs. To address this, we are prioritizing digitization, training, and improved contract lifecycle management. In the year under review, the merSETA processed 2,477 valid invoices with consolidated value of 149.7 million rand, of which 2,135 invoices totaling 132.7 million were paid within the standard 30-day payment period. While the vast majority of payments were processed timelessly, 340 invoices representing 17 million rands required payments beyond the standard period due to supply-related constraints, such as outstanding bank details, invoice corrections, or awaited supporting documents. The merSETA entered into various procurement arrangements outside of the normal tender process during the year, with total deviations and single source procurements, valuation audit evidence for employer receivables relating to discretionary grants, and for grants and transfer payables services after cost had been incurred. Recognizing the need for professional, capable, and ethical organization, the merSETA embarked on an organizational design journey. Guided by our strategic plan, we realigned our structure and human resource processes, enhancing competencies across staff, governance, and stakeholders. The transition included targeting training, alignment of job outputs, and valuable lessons for future improvement, especially in capacity alignment, people management, and continuous total personnel expenditure, demonstrating our commitment to building a skilled and capable and governance. 31st of March 2025, the Minister appointed SETA CEOs to resume duties of all accounting authority until the new board is in place, ensuring business continuity. Since then, new members of the accounting authority were industrial capacity. The second one is the professional development with University of the Western Cape, funding 60 candidates in postgraduate diploma in TVET to advance lecturer capacity across universities and TVET colleges, thereby improving the delivery of vocational education. The third one is the TVET 4.0 Applied Research and Innovation Project, with 5 TVET colleges participating, including Ekurhuleni East, assessment. That is our fourth strategic partnership. Our retrenchment assistance program supported over 3,100 learners, helping them employ. identified weaknesses in financial reporting, particularly regarding discretionary grants. We acknowledge these shortcomings. Reporting of expenditure in accordance with the generally recognized accounting practice. Management remains 61% in 2023-24 and 63% in 2024-25. This upward trend reflects our renewed commitment to performance excellence and the effect that the merSETA recorded more than 24,200 prior year learners whose completion outcomes could not be reported in the audited 2024-25 performance figures because of their learning programs commenced in the previous financial year. Even though their registrations to act as we are committed to deepening and leveraging research and innovation to meet our within the merSETA, expanding stakeholder coverage to promote equity and access, prioritizing future-oriented skills aligned to the fourth industrial partners, to the accounting authority, management team, employees for their dedication and pursuit of excellence. Together we are driving meaningful impact and fostering sustainable growth in manufacturing and engineering sector. Thank you. I now call upon the Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Ncedisa Mpande, to provide details of our finances for the 2024-25 financial year. Mrs. Ncedisa Mpande is qualified chartered accountant and nearly 20 years of post-qualification experience in both junior and senior management roles. She has held executive positions for 12 years, including 8 years as a Chief Financial Officer at merSETA. During her tenure at the merSETA, she has significantly contributed to shaping the organization's strategic direction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms.
Howson said the merSETA has been qualified. The CEO repeated it, and I'm about to repeat it as well. So I thought maybe let me just make a brief explanation of what that means. So in audit, you get 3 or 4 opinions. One is clean. The AG or the auditors are saying, shareholder, however, and this issue is only limited to this particular one. So in our case, that issue relates to our discretionary expenses. The AG came, they did project visits, they looked at what we reported on our annual financial statements, and they said, but Sharon's company, we went, we checked, or BMW, they're doing training, but it's not reflected on your financial statements. So this is where our qualification area is, because right now, or 3 years ago, we had no way of knowing, unless it's reported to us, when training is happening on the ground and it has not yet reflected on our side. And that means we're not in compliance with GRAP, because GRAP accounting says it doesn't matter whether it has reached you or not. Do not mislead people and make them assume that BMW is not going to make a claim, because BMW will make a claim. I think that's clear, ne? That is where we are qualified. we are struggling, we are being honest, I'm coming here as a CFO because an audit is seen as a CFO's problem, and it is my problem. That's why I had to go for a nature call. It is my problem. And so what we are doing is, they came 2022-23, they told us this. They came 23-24, we tried to do something and they said it's not enough. And they came again 24-25. So the thing is with accounting, there's always a debit and a credit. So the issue is on the discretionary expense, but it also affects our other balances, which is your grants and transfers, payables. And that's why that, if you read our financial statement, that report from the Auditor General looks complex, but basically, I thought let me try and explain what we mean by qualified. This is the issue. For the last 10 years, we were struggling with NSDMS. I'm not sure if it's still a struggle, but now, this is the issue we are struggling with. Our stakeholders used to complain about NSDMS, and I think there's things that we have done, but now this is the issue. Am I coming here as your CFO to say you shouldn't be worried? No, I'm not saying that. It is a concern, but we are working tirelessly to make sure that whatever is happening on the ground is also reflected on the financial statements. Now I can move. Yeah. Thank you, colleagues. A review of, good morning all, and welcome. It is with honor that I present the annual financial statements for the year ended 31 March 2025. A review of 24-25 indicates that despite challenges, merSETA made notable progress. The merSETA annual financial statements for the year ending 31 March 2025 reveal financial growth and operational challenges, with an emphasis on levy income, grants, and audit outcomes. The report highlights key financial metrics, income sources, expenses, and the organizational financial position alongside audit qualifications and plans for resolution. Levy income increased by 4.7% from 1.72 billion rands in the prior year to 1.8 billion in this current financial year. Mandatory grants expenses amounted to 334 million rands in this current financial year. The mandatory grants claims ratio was maintained at 73% in the current year. This claims ratio measures mandatory grants paid as a percentage of mandatory grants levies received. Discretionary grants and project expenses amounted to 1.52 billion rands for the year under review, compared to 1.2 billion in the prior year, an increase of 18%. This was mainly driven by a change in our accounting treatment for accruals, whereas in the last financial year, the accruals for project expenses were not fully accounted for. The merSETA received a qualified audit opinion from the Auditor General for 24-25, marking its third consecutive year with such an outcome. This qualification was due to internal control weaknesses concerning opening balances of discretionary grants, expenses, and grants and transfers payables. To resolve this qualification, merSETA will need to address the matters as described in the audit report. In terms of audit assertions, this means that merSETA will need to ensure that the following balances, classes of transactions, disclosures, and supporting documents comply with the following audit assertions. The first assertion is completeness, means all agreements that we report, lenders, payments, accruals are recorded in the financial statements. The second one is accuracy. It means that all our agreements, lenders, payments, and accruals, provisions, and commitments are recorded correctly in our annual financial statements. And the third one being classification. The agreements, lenders, payments, accruals must be classified correctly in our annual financial statements. A formal audit action plan has been established to resolve these matters. I now draw your attention to the financial performance of the merSETA. As mentioned before, the levy income increased by 4.7%, over prior year from 1.72 billion to 1.8 billion rands. Levies received from companies with annual payrolls under 500,000 rands are excluded from income, with a provision made for anticipated SARS recalls. Penalties and interest on levies received for this current year was 16.1 million rands compared to 21.4 million rands in the prior year. Interest income received in the current year amounted to 469 million rands, an increase of 5.4% compared to prior year. This increase was mainly due to increasing cash reserves as a result of the delay in implementation of projects, resulting in increased reserves, and also because of our marginal increase in the repo rate. Looking at our expenses, monetary grant payments were made throughout the year and amounted to 334 million rands, an increase of 25 million rands from 309 million rands in the previous year. Discretionary project expenses amounted to 1.52 billion rands, and administration costs totaling 258 million rands include amounts paid to the QCTO for administrative purposes, represent an increase of 14.7% from prior year. Employment expenses account for 70% of these costs, with operating leases comprising the next largest category. A 5-year analysis shows a steady levy income growth, except in 2020-2021, when a 4-month income levy holiday was declared due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The expense graph shows that monetary grants expenditure has steadily increased as well over the past 5 years, matching the growth in levy income. The metal chamber continues to provide 55% of levy income, consistent with last year. merSETA's financial standing remains stable and secure. Its largest asset is cash and cash equivalents, totaling 6.2 billion rands. Most of this money comes from discretionary grant levy income and is allocated for projects and training initiatives approved by the Accounting Authority. Of that 6.2 billion rands cash on hand, 5.1 billion rand is committed, with the remainder reserved for current liabilities. Cash surpluses were invested as per investment policy in local institutions with a large banking institutions with a large portion placed at the Corporation of Public Deposits, which is the CPD, which resides with the Reserve Bank. The main liability, which is grants payables, concerns completed training that still requires additional verification before funds are paid out. The balance also accounts for a provision covering SARS refunds on levies collected from employers with payrolls below the specified threshold. 95% of discretionary grants reserves have been allocated to discretionary grants contracts. The substantial reserve balances are primarily attributable to multi-year structure of apprenticeships and related programs, which can extend for up to 4 years. The statement of changes in net assets reports reserves totaling 5.4 billion rands, along with the allocation of these funds. At year end, 86 million rands in surpluses for monetary grants and administration expenses was transferred to the discretionary grants reserves. A total of 479 million rands is held in the employer grants reserve, serving as a mandatory grant provision for companies that registered to participate after the cut-off date. The organization generated a net cash inflow of 590 million rands from its operating activities. Its cash and cash equivalents, as mentioned, stood at 6.2 billion rands. With that, I thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Disa, aka Netisa. Ladies and gentlemen, we now open the floor for questions and answers. Just a few protocols to observe. If there's a question from the floor, please raise your hand and an assistant will provide a microphone. The questions and answer sessions will last for 30 minutes and should only relate to the presentations this morning. Nothing outside today's nothing outside today's engagements with merSETA. If you had a chat with me outside, it ended there. It should not come in the public. However, if we are unable to answer your questions today because we would want to provide evidence-based answers, we will come back to you timelessly. There is an email address for your convenience should there be questions. There are people who would not want to stand up and ask questions, but you may still send your question to the address agmq@merseta.org.za. So you are welcome to you are welcome to type in your question and send it. So we have 30 minutes. We did have a late start, however, we'll still afford you the 30 minutes, respectfully so. First question, second question, third question. Maybe before, you may raise your hand in the meantime while the roving mic moves to you. I just want to acknowledge the staff members who are here. I was sitting with the executives at merSETA. I'm going to kindly ask them to stand up. You've seen the CFO as the Strategy and Research Executive, and our newcomer, Nonkululeko Mazibuko. I won't say Miss or Mrs., I didn't ask. She started yesterday. Would you kindly stand up? She's our company secretary. Thank you. Then, we've heard a lot about discretionary grants. Discretionary grants. We've got a senior manager who's sitting right in the far end. I'll introduce him now, because that's where you need to look when you're thinking, I have not been paid. But our corporate services executive who has, he heads human resource and marketing and communications. They were part of this big arrangement for today. Mr. Rajesh Jok, aka RJ. Did I miss somebody from the executives? Okay, then I'll move to senior managers. Mr. Itumele Mukesi. Mr. Andre van Veek, standing next to Mr. Khumuton Toko, Regional Manager for Free State Northern Cape and Gauteng South A. We split A and B, Ms. Sipogazi Ndlovu on the other side. Gauteng is very big, so we had to have two regional managers responsible. I saw Mr. Chakilane Apan in the morning. Okay, just under that spotlight. I don't know why he hides under the spotlight. Did I miss anybody? Regional Manager, KZN, you for either success or the opposite. Okay, there are the CLOs there, Mr. Boroto. Yeah, I'm bad with newcomers' names now. Mr. Mleche. Take leave, so because we want to serve you to the best of our ability, Okay, I want to note hands, and I'm not seeing any at the moment. Okay, there's the first one. Reminding me, Mr. Gosdibie, I wanted you to take that opportunity to introduce them. We only know 2 so far. Running. They started October and today they are at the AGM going to answer your hard questions. Yeah, and then moving to this table, Mr. Lolani Chang Authority, for a reason. Mr. Vuyoletu Toli is the representative of organized labor. I would not mention the organized labor by name. I hope he's not wearing the attire. Then, going to introduce them. I'll start with Mr. Tsepo Fari. Okay, and the Audit and Risk Committee is chaired by Ms. Mzozoyana, Kumo Mzozoyana. So they are the people who keep us on check, and you would have picked up from my speech that they did raise serious concerns, so we are working on it. The third member is unfortunately not here. I'm not sure if she's online, but that's Mrs. Margaret Piri. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Okay. Then questions, we'll take first question. You will pardon my commercial break before taking questions. It was necessary. First question, that side. Then the online attendees, would you kindly post your questions on
relates to the presentation from the chair. Chair, you don't need anyone to tell you about the challenges of deindustrialization in our industry, in our economy. I think the one strategic question that is important to engage on in an AGM is what ought to be the conversation around this question of deindustrialization, because we are here to serve an industry. And if that industry is sinking, I think we need to be having a very strong conversation about it. Second question relates to the CFO. Second and third is related to the CFO. I see her shaking her head, but she knows that she can't speak and not get a question from me. I think in a typical way, CFO is very keen to share with the stakeholders what exactly is going on with these qualifications. But I want to suggest that because probably there was time constraints, the explanation was rather too anecdotal. And it leaves one with the impression that the SETA has such a simple question, a simple problem of training taking place on the floor, not being reflected on records, and for 2 years the SETA can't solve that problem, because that's in the interest of being brief. That's how the explanation came out. So I would love an opportunity, I think, maybe for the CFO and maybe audit colleagues to really build on that rand. 1% is 18 million rand, and you cannot have as a SETA 18 million rand coming from an unknown source. So I thought it would be useful to just clarify that, just as a matter of hygiene. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. The second one. Sorry, Mr. Now that we know you, I'm going to introduce you. The next speaker will have Now that we know you, I'm going to introduce you. The next speaker will have to introduce himself or herself, name, and also who he or she represents. That's what I would expect from people who will ask questions. That was Mr. Thapelo Mulapo. He used to be a board member. Yeah, I won't introduce you further than that. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. My name is Mojaki Finger. Represent a company called Next Level Learning. So I think when you were presenting in terms of your project partners, you indicated categories of employers, TVET colleges, community organizations, and there was no mention of private providers. So I just want to find out if there's a specific reason why you don't have projects with private providers like myself. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a third one before we start answering? Okay, I think I saw one. Oh, yeah. Mr. Introduce yourself.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Michael Nzani from Related Motors.
I'm not sure if people can hear. Can you? Yeah. Do like the rappers do, man.
Well, my name is Michael Nzani from Unitech Motors. Yes, I'd like to greet everyone. And first of all, I want to thank merSETA for the great job they are doing an initiative. And my question was, as much as we see the stats of the grants, and all right, okay, sorry. As much as we see the stats of the grants and everything else, my concern is, are we also seeing the outcome from those grants, or what is the initiative that is maybe merSETA is also doing, as much as it's already started with the great job and to develop the poor, the poorest, and the youth? Thank you.
Okay. Online question from Hein. Hein wants to know when DG year 26 will be rolled out. Okay, Chairperson, I think the first question was for you, and I would not, I will have to allow you the opportunity to answer. It's about the challenges of deindustrialization, and the question is, what is the, what are we doing about it as a SETA? Thank you.
I think I want to answer it as follows, that seeing that we 6 weeks into our term now, we are focusing since last term exactly on issues in that regard. So we're going to focus on that, make it work properly, and then we've got a long term to be the champions to look into that specific issues and address that accordingly.
Okay.
If it helps.
Thank you. The second and the third question, that is for our Chief Financial Officer.
So tall. Thank you. This is my former chairperson of Finance and Grants Committee, Mr. Mulapo. Thank you for that question. I expected nothing less from you. He always demands accountability. I'll start with the last question, which is the easiest one. Why we have 1% unclassified? It's those companies that have not classified themselves. So they just need to apply and be allocated correctly. So that's the simplest explanation. Then the first question is the most difficult, because it really indeed, when the AGs told us this in 22-23, we thought it was as simple, and you are saying, if it's so simple, why can't we solve it? It's because when the AG told us this, it made us see that in fact we've got a problem internally, poor project management, because the AG should not be the ones telling us there's training happening and we don't know. So that means that there's poor project management practices within merSETA. And secondly, that we've got the performance information that is really not talking to our annual financial statements, because maybe some of these learners are sitting and merSETA has not really acknowledged whether the training is taking place or not. So that is the root cause. And the third one is capacity issues within the organization.
Probably Mr. Lubando, I'm not sure if you'll answer that or you'll get supplementary answers from Mr. Mwepi. Then the last question, this is you now. When is the rollout of discretionary grant year 26 happening? Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning once again, colleagues. Maybe let me start with the last question. For people that are eagerly awaiting DG year 26, our fund. However, in the main, our funding is obviously generated from levy payers, and we are not shy in terms of ensuring that our act,
Thanks.
Okay.
At this point in time, we haven't measured the impact that we made last year. We are currently undertaking a tracer study to determine that impact. Training as well as the stipends that are given to the learners. However, in the next 6 months or so, by the 31st of March next year, we would have tangible results from a tracer study. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Based on our program, though we started late, so somebody did catch up, I want us to take another round of questions. I would not want you to ask questions outside. Not want you to ask questions outside the meeting unless if it's specific to your company. But if it's general, I would give you this opportunity. Going once, okay. Okay, there's one there. Another one. Anything online? Would you kindly push it through?
Good morning, everybody.
Just a minute. Okay, there's another one there. Okay, you'll go first and then second. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Mohakave. I'm representing SKFSA. Chair, CEO, while you have given us the rules of engagement that we need to confine ourselves to the presentation, even though it's a bit problematic. However, I'll try to confine myself to this presentation. The CFO has given us the figures, and some of the issues is the intends to implement to ensure that the payment of grants are processed timelessly. Because all of the stakeholders
I'm representing BMW South Africa. For me, I'm not going to pose a question. I just standing up to make a comment regarding the proceedings of this. Clear presentations that are detailed, more especially with regard to performance for different portfolios within merSETA. I think going forward, we can improve on that aspect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Controls and the execution internally. One request would be to have another look at the trainings that merSETA used to provide executions that are required on the NSDMS system. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to read the online question. Digital intelligence and artificial intelligence systems thinking, transdisciplinary synthesis. I'm sure you know it from your textbook. Geo-economic fluency, that's another one, to address mega disruptions in the sector. You know, with the accounting officer's rights, I'm going to delegate this to you. Okay, there's a question on cash reserves. I think the best person to answer this, because the issue of cash reserves and payments sits with operations. Mr. Mtunzi Lubando, would you kindly, the chief financial officer just reminds us on monthly meetings to say there's a slow movement of monthly meetings to say there's a slow movement of budget, expenditure against budget. She does it diligently, so I cannot blame her. Then you'll answer that question. There was a comment on progress on the annual report.
Your question resonates with the broader audience. Your question resonates with the broader audience because I could hear a lot of nodding after you made the question around the payments. I think we actually acknowledge the frustrations that this has actually caused or is causing. In the broader sense, you know, the payment delays are attributable to either where there are evidence that is currently missing or due to high volumes that we do get. However, we do understand that we actually need to improve our turnaround times when it comes to payments. And in that regard, we've actually tightened control around the evidence requirements, as well as the improving the tracking of payments. What we are currently doing with that process is actually trying to institute a flagging process where you would then be getting communication in terms of at each stage where your payment is currently at. And this is obviously foreseen to expedite the payments process going forward. Thank you. Maybe the question around the SDF was a suggestion for us, which we will take on board. But I think it's important to note that we do have SDF forums that are running in regions. We would want to then consider obviously extending the, you know, even if it's an informal training with regards to SDFs that are coming through, onboarding them into our processes. Thanks for that.
Yes, the system fluency, dysfunctional, multidisciplinary.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been put in a corner. You know, in 1991, none of those terms were in my textbooks. You know, the only one next week, and yeah, we are looking at coming up with an AI strategy to see how we can disrupt not the industry, maybe how we function internally and be more efficient.
Okay, thank you. Would you kindly give Mr. De Beer the mic?
Demonstrated from our different areas we come from to be part of the merSETA, we don't play politics. We a team that we will address everything accordingly. If there's shortfalls, we are human beings, we will rectify and stand up and correct as far as we can. We're here for you guys, we're here for the public. That's why I say we one team, and there's no individual that will have any shenanigans of any kind of a GNU and whatever the case may be. We one team and we will be like that. And I want to say the following. The emphasis this time around is between two things. Operations versus oversight. The two will work tandemly together. It will not be one. And that is the model we're going to take forward. So lastly, I want to say, I'm the first guy that will step, and you see, I'm not, we the two big guys always answer the question, and for a reason we do so. I will be the first one that will step on Disha's toes if she starts signing checks alone. So once again, you see the merSETA team as one, and we're going to be operate as one through our systems and internal governance. Thank you for me giving me a chance to say this, CEO.
Okay. Thank you very much for your participation. As stated earlier, there are If there are any questions that you want to raise, you are welcome to do so at a later stage. So please use the agmq@merseta.org.za. I thank you for your part in this meeting, and now I call upon Mr. De Beer to conclude this session on behalf of the Accounting Authority.
So he made me stand up and walk over, although I just set my ankle. But anyhow, we have to rise to the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a pleasure to call on our guest speaker from, let me just get this pronouncement correct. Acting CEO, help me with this name. Jering Engineering, Kaya Madiba, in an accomplished engineering management professional and entrepreneur based in East London, South Africa. He served as a director of Consulting Group, Pty Ltd, project executive specialist firm, and it is the sole director of both engineering and general engineering and manufacturing company, and CNC plasma cut, which focus on advanced CNC plasma cutting solutions. With 18 years of practical engineering management experience, Kaya is a highly skilled in his standards, interpretation, projects, delivery, and technical leadership. He is a registered facilitator, assessor, overt inspection, and assess management. He is also for the author of Just Involved for Effective Business Growth. Beyond his business ventures, Kaya is deeply committed to community development. He serves as chairperson of the advisory board of Walter Sisulu University, and is the founder of and campaign of Buggers Golf NPC, a non-profit company dedicated the rising funds for development golf in the Eastern Cape. Kaya expertise spans engineering management, standard compliance, and advanced proficiency in Microsoft Office applications. His leadership and passion for effective business growth and skills development have made him a respected figure in South Africa engineering and training sector. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kaya Madiba.
As dawn breaks, we're already at work. Precision, passion, and progress. They're not just words to us, they're the heartbeat of what we do. In every turn of a wrench, in every weld and grind, we create something greater than just metal and machinery. We shape dreams into reality, turning ideas into the tangible, the lasting, the strong. Crafted by hands that care, driven by minds that innovate, we believe that greatness is found in the details and excellence is forged through hard work. Every piece we build tells a story of teamwork, of commitment, of striving for something better. It's the story of people who never settle for good enough. From the first design to the final product, we push boundaries, we challenge limits, and we set new standards, because that's who we are. This is more than manufacturing. It's the art of creating with purpose. It's the drive to shape a better future, one part at a time. This is our legacy. This is Gehring Engineering.
Thank
Thank you for the introduction. I think a lot was said to you. A lot was said here this morning about me. I hope I'm audible enough at the back. Perfect. Good morning, all guests, colleagues, partners, members of the merSETA community. The gentleman you see there standing next to me is Mr. Albert Gehring, who started the company in 1994. In 2020, I took over the business as the sole director, both Gehring Engineering and Gehring CNC Plasma Cut. We cover a wide range of sectors: agro-processing, automation, automotive industry, mining, construction, and manufacturing. Our key strive is that our strength lies in our skilled individuals. And I think that's what merSETA stands for. The era of transformation, 31 years post-1994. I stand before you as a representative of a truly transformed small to medium enterprise in South Africa. Even more proud to say, Tumatina as SMMEs, send us as SMMEs. Tumatina for transformation in terms of skills that are needed for the manufacturing industry tomorrow. We live make sure that they are equipped, empowered, and ready for the opportunities of tomorrow. Our partnership with merSETA as a shared vision. At Gehring Engineering and AIG Plasma, we have experienced firsthand the value of merSETA's commitment to workforce development. That's the team that you see in the picture right there. Through the partnership that we have with merSETA, we've managed to strengthen the ability to train, mentor, and uplift young people, particularly in the Eastern Cape, because that's where I am from. In DG25, the year 2025, we managed to award 18 bursaries to deserving students, where we conducted interviews initially. We've delivered 34 positive development interventions. So even if we are awarded 6 bursaries, we are able to stretch that to impact those that are in need and in poorer areas. We've taken on 16 apprentices and we've spread them amongst 3 companies that we have agreements with. We've welcomed 6 interns into our businesses. And behind each of these numbers, they urging and advanced materials. Henry Ford once said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." Through our partnership with merSETA, this working together continues to shape our business and uplift our province. It was mentioned earlier on. We deal with, as an SMME, as a company, we deal with a multitude of different people within merSETA. But I must say, well done. There are times when the CLO would be talking 10 o'clock at night, exchanging emails of information and data that they may need. 6 o'clock in the morning is the best time to call my CLO. Said to me, "You didn't just..." This is the power of opportunity. This is the power of the merSETA model. This is the power of investing in our people. These interventions change the direction of a young person's life. And with that, it is able to change a whole community, a whole province, and with that, we can change where our country currently is. Building the Eastern Cape's future. Sorry, not that I'm excluding other provinces, but I love the Eastern Cape, that's where I'm from. The Eastern Cape province is rich in potential, a place of resilience, innovation. As of March next year, he would have had 21 years in the business. Since I took over the business in 2020, he has been extremely proud of where we've brought the business over since I've taken the business as the sole director. We've our artisans, our technicians, and our engineers to keep up the pace. Our artisans, our technicians, and our engineers to keep up the pace of all of these developing global standards. Through merSETA intervention programs, we are able to build a workforce that is able to be adaptable, innovative, competitive, future-ready, and equipped to lead the digital manufacturing era. We are providing that disruption that can be a catalyst to growth and where we need to invest in the right skills. Partnership as a driver and where we need to invest in the right skills. Partnership as a driver for progress. The collaboration between us as industry, SMMEs, and merSETA is one of South Africa's strongest examples of collective impact. Through merSETA's support, companies like ours are able to move beyond compliance and truly commit to transformation. The results are evident. Stronger training pipelines that we have, improved alignment between industry and academia,
and more opportunities for young people to enter meaningful learning pathways. And that's what we try and instill. The model of shared vision and shared responsibility is the foundation that our country needs. Allow me to share a story with you. I have an apprentice who started in 2019 called Simamkele Bango. Born in a town called Tsolo, Umbu, in the Eastern Cape, very rural town, one street town. You could literally walk from one end of the town to the other in 15 minutes. This young man started his apprenticeship in 2019. When I took over in 2020, I motivated him to see the possible potential. As I'm speaking to you now, he is currently the manager of our turning department in the company. He works on high precision tooling projects for clients across the Eastern Cape province and in South Africa. Colleges, there's 8 in the Eastern Cape, and universities. Champion the inclusion of more young women in engineering. I'm proud to say that in all the companies, engineering and manufacturing in East London, I have got women on the floor who are artisans. We want to build advanced training pathways and align them with emerging technologies from high school leavers onwards. We don't want to capture the learners after high school. We want to start at the stage of matric. So we have now started to talk to some of the high school principals where we will provide open days to our companies to allow those that are in grade 11 matric be exposed. From that level, as soon as a child or a learner says, I want to be a fitter and turner, on the decision and partnership, I say to you again, Tumatina as SMMEs, send us as SMMEs. Tumatina as SMMEs to help execute merSETA's mandate. To merSETA, thank you for your leadership and unwavering commitment. To industry leaders that are in the room, let us continue investing, not
I need to give him a gift in front of everyone.
Because it's not the bribe.
Yes, because it's not a bribe, it's not done it. Thank you very
to us to engage with us further during the lunch that follows. This meeting is now officially closed. Thank you very much. It's now officially closed. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, I believe there's lunch, just in case you missed it.